From Forex Traders Daily, this is your daily analysis with Ross Mullins, live from Richmond, Virginia.
Hello everyone, this is today's video analysis for February 26, 2016. In just a moment, we'll be taking a look at the NZDUSD, the New Zealand dollar versus the US dollar, for today's trade analysis and setup. But first, I want to recap a couple of trade suggestions made over the past few days. First off, I'm going to start here on the USDCAD, the US dollar versus the Canadian dollar, which was yesterday's trade analysis and trade suggestion. We were looking for buys on dips into support and the long-term trend line, the 100-period moving average. There was many reasons to look for buys into the support level. If I go back out here real quick to the daily time frame, and again, we outlined this in yesterday's video. There's the long-term blue trend line. There's the 100 moving period average paralleling the trend line. Again, we came back down, settled down into there as support yesterday, and I was looking for a bounce back higher from that level. And I don't think it's out of the question that we could still see the return back higher above there if we get some positive news out of the U.S. today with the GDP numbers. Now, let's take it on back down to the 4-hour time frame and begin zooming it in here. Of course, obviously, it has now pushed underneath that yellow zone. And if you stayed with any trades from there, then you might have gotten stopped out. Take a look. This is my account history down here for this account that I trade these suggestions on. There's the entry, 3605. And you can see that the trade was actually closed out at 3608, which was into profit. It locked in profit. I used the trade manager yesterday, and it locked in profit, came back down, took me out. We actually saw well over 40 pips of profit on this trade. Now you're asking, well, why did I get stopped out? If you stayed into it and got stopped out, it went below the yellow zone. Well, here's the thing. You have to use appropriate trade management procedures. I got in right about right here. If you look down at the account history down there, it was right around the 1600 time frame for the trade entry at 136.05. That's right here. I had this little blue candle. You can see it bounced up from that 36.05 level all the way up about 45 pips of profit before it's turning down. So it's important that when you enter the trades that I'm suggesting in the notifications, that you use appropriate trade management procedures. I am not there to press the buttons for you, enter and exit the trades. So if you do get into one of these trades that I'm suggesting, it's important that you use trade management procedures to protect profit when you see it. This trade saw well over 40 pips of profit, giving you the opportunity to close some profit and even lock in to make sure that you did not lose. Now, if you got in later in the day as it came back down, sure, it went back down and went underneath there. But the first initial trade, seeing over 40 pips of profit on the trade. So there's no reason that at least you should not have seen some profit on that first initial entry for the USCAD from yesterday. Now let's move on over for today. A couple of things that we've been looking at in the live trade room, of course, is the yellow shaded area here on the Australian dollar. Of course, I have been trading that. I've traded it a couple of times. This is the second time I've gotten in from the yellow shaded area up here towards the 72.45 level. Not something I got posted to the notifications, but we have been discussing this in the live trade room over and over and over all week long as an opportunity on sells on rallies into resistance into that yellow shaded area. We've discussed the potential resistance into that level down to the 4-hour time frame again, and you can see here it comes right off of that yellow zone. There was our entry earlier on in the week. We profited, saw over 100 pips of profit on the trade. Now it's coming back off. I got into it another time, so here we are sitting at 46 pips of profit again from that same area that we've been discussing all week long on the Australian dollar. So that shouldn't be really a surprise. Maybe I didn't get it posted to the notifications, but if you watch the trade analysis at all, or if you're a member of the live trade room, that shouldn't be a surprise that I'm looking at sells from the 72.45 level. Now, for the day today, we're looking at the New Zealand dollar. Similar situation where we have been discussing this blue box on my chart for the past several weeks. You can see it's been stuck inside this blue box going all the way back over here to the beginning of February. February 2nd, we came up into it, and we've just been rattling around in this range, this short range inside the blue box, this period of congestion, if you will, inside the blue box. Selling rallies to resistance or even buying into support became opportunities that we were looking for here for the New Zealand dollar. So a push through the orange zone, which I said yesterday was basically a hinge point for this currency pair, pushing above the orange zone, we would look for it to tackle into the pink shaded area. That was the expectation. If it got underneath the orange shaded area, we look for it to go all the way back down here towards the yellow shaded area. So that's really the main focus for the current time being for the New Zealand dollar. Nothing really has changed since the beginning of February. The only thing that's going to really change that outlook is that it breaks above the pink zone or breaks below the yellow zone, and we see a change, a breakout of the period of congestion. So nothing really new here. Selling rallies into resistance become an opportunity. I'm already in it, but I think there's still the opportunity if it takes another run back up there towards the 67.35 67.40 level, the pink shaded area, to get back into this for the day on the New Zealand dollar. Of course, at 8:30 Eastern U.S. time, about 40 minutes from the recording of this video, we have some U.S. data, preliminary GDP coming out. Definitely something to watch. If we get some positive news, this is going to be a good trade as it continues to pressure lower back down towards the orange or maybe the yellow zone, or maybe even lower than that if it breaks out of this range. If it's negative, if the GDP comes out as a negative number, it's very possible that we see the breakout of the pink shaded area and the turn back higher here for the New Zealand dollar. So definitely watching that for a clue of direction for the New Zealand dollar today. We don't have any news out of New Zealand for the day today, so all the movement that we see here on this pair will likely be based on the US dollar strengthening or weakening. Again, if you're not already in it, again, from the discussions we've had about the pink shaded area, then I think even getting closer towards the 67.35.40 level would be the opportunity to get into this trade. 4-hour time frame, you can see it coming back up over the past several hours, coming back up into the pink zone. If you were to sell at the orange zone yesterday, of course, it pushed through it, and that was something that happens sometimes. I talked about it as a hinge point yesterday. Above it would go higher, below it would go lower. And that's exactly what's happened. It got above it, and now we see it challenging the pink shaded area. So again, we see it falling into the 67.65 level, top of the pink zone, falling back underneath the pink zone. So any rally back under 67.40 becomes an opportunity to once again target the orange or the yellow shaded area. Risk, of course, stop loss would be above today's high, looking for those sales to go back down. Again, watching the U.S. data for a key indicator of direction for this currency pair today. Protect profit when you see it, and look to target levels lower for the New Zealand dollar today.
From Forex Traders Daily, this has been your daily analysis with Ross Mullins. If you would like to get Ross's analysis on all the currency pairs he's watching and all the trades he takes today, join him in his live trade room by clicking on the link below. Please leave any comments you have about today's video in the comments section below.